Hello, and thank you for joining us today to discuss strategy execution, success through leadership. We are joined by Dr. Gardner Shaw, who will lead the session. Dr. Shaw is a Balanced Scorecard Institute Senior Associate. He is a management consultant and executive trainer who focuses on helping organizations achieve better results. Dr. Shaw has over 20 years of experience in management, applied statistics, organizational behavior, training, facilitation, and policy implementation. Much of Dr. Shaw's work has been with the senior leadership of organizations, and he has designed and delivered courses in leadership, performance measurement, process analysis, and process management. In addition, he has provided strategic planning support to such organizations as the Defense Intelligence Agency, the Joint Staff, the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, and the Internal Revenue Service, as well as numerous private and not-for-profit organizations. Dr. Shaw was a member of the faculty of SUNY Buffalo, where he did research and writing in organizational behavior and inter-organizational relations, and taught in the areas of public management, applied statistics, public policy analysis, and economic and risk assessment. Dr. Shaw, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, Kathleen. Very happy to have you folks joining us today. We really would like to be able to talk with you about some of the painful realities that organizations encounter in trying to make their strategies work. We'd like, in the process, to share with you some ideas on what we see as the causes of many of these pains, and also some ideas on how you might get a better handle on finding solutions to these problems. Our agenda very quickly today is, as you see, a quick reality check, asking you to compare your experiences to some of the painful experiences many other organizations have encountered in trying to carry out strategy, which represent basically pains we're trying to address. We'll talk about what we see as the root causes of those pains, and we'll talk about how you can go about finding solutions to those causes, beginning with what we refer to as making strategy matter. Then we'll talk about a program we've put together to basically help organizations work through finding solutions to strategy execution. We'll talk about the program, we'll talk about details of how it works. First, I'd like you to take a look at this small version of a longer reality check that's available online. I'll be quiet for just a second while you take a look and see if any of these statements look like they describe the situation in your organization. We've certainly seen this in many situations and with many different kinds of organizations. For example, having a really good strategic plan and balanced scorecard in place that a lot of work and a lot of good thought has gone into, but just not making progress in carrying it out the way we wanted to. Or, and perhaps as well, we have a good plan, but not everybody in the organization is on board with the plan and engaged in doing the work of the plan. Or, jumping down at the bottom, we have a lot of major activities going on around the organization, projects, human resources, initiatives, IT systems, things like that, that don't seem to be connected to the organization's strategy. In fact, many of them seem to divert resources and attention from the strategy. So if you've got any of these problems, you have a lot of company. Let's look at what some of the research says on these things. Just to go back to the ones I just mentioned, according to several surveys of top leaders done by Harvard Business Review, only 19% of strategic plans achieve their objectives. 90% of well-formulated strategies fail due to poor execution. As I said, there's a lot of this going around. A majority of executives say they are concerned that their companies are not focused on executing our strategy. Interesting. Finally, let's get to the last one. Fewer than 1/3 of senior executives' direct reports clearly understand the connections between corporate priorities, and the share plummets to 16% for frontline supervisors and team leaders. If you relate this data back to the previous set of questions, you can really see why those problems exist. What do we have here? We have here pains that organizations typically encounter, and every yes answer you give to one of these questions on the reality check decreases your chances of long-term success. Okay, these are things that many organizations deal with. We'd like to invite you to go back to the website and take the full reality check, which is available online. Share it with colleagues, and then talk about what are the implications of the answers you've given to these questions as they relate to your organization. We think that these problems, these pains that we're talking about, exist because of a small number of root causes that basically drive all these other difficulties. First, that not everyone in the organization is engaged. Second, that not all systems and initiatives are aligned with a strategy. If everyone is not engaged, it's because the strategy doesn't matter. That's pretty strong language, I know. But think about this. If we had a situation where health and safety of our employees or of the people we serve is endangered, we're going to make sure that everybody in the organization is engaged to address that. If we're dealing with a regulatory requirement that could shut us down, we're going to make sure that everyone in the organization is aware of that and is dealing with it. Where there's a will, there's a way. If key components are not aligned with strategy, it's because strategy doesn't matter. If we allow programs and initiatives to go off in separate directions, often in competition with the strategy, it's because we have not said that the strategy is important enough to force those to all move in alignment with each other. Basically, what we're saying here is that strategy needs to become the real business of the organization, not just an afterthought or a sideshow. How do we get there? It's going to take strong, decisive action by senior leadership to correct this. That is, only they can really make strategy matter. Well, we think they can make strategy matter if you address three imperatives. First, that the senior leadership team and its members provides active, personal, visible leadership of the strategy. They are out front, they are in charge, they are clearly moving and pushing the strategy. As part of that responsibility, the senior leadership team is making sure that the organization is characterized by open, interactive communication, teamwork, and collaboration, and especially that the people that need to help the strategy go forward have the capacity and the resources to do what is required. That's something the senior leadership needs to make happen. Also, who but them are going to make sure that all of the organization's leadership and management systems and processes are aligned to support the strategy. They have the big picture view. They need to make sure that all the pieces are fitting together. So how do we go about doing this? We've put together a program that is intended to help people in strategy positions as well as the senior leadership of organizations address these three imperatives. And we would invite you to join us in this program. It will put you together with other people like yourselves, similar experiences, similar kinds of problems in their organization that addresses the issues and challenges faced in strategy efforts, specifically how these relate to leadership or to people or to systems and processes. The program involves a real-life case study of a very successful strategy effort and demonstrates the leadership, people, and system challenges that they overcame. Basically, what the program does is establish a process by which an organization can determine, aided by the experience of others, how they can accomplish these imperatives and therefore lead their strategy efforts successfully. In a nutshell, the program works like this. You will be working with others with similar kinds of experience to, first of all, expose obstacles to success in your organizations. As an example, there's a lot of talk about teamwork, but the senior leaders only seem interested in what happens in their own functional areas, operating in silos. You identify a number of related obstacles, look for patterns among the obstacles, and finally we get to the point of saying, what are the tangible actions you can take to help senior leadership overcome these obstacles? Again, for example, getting the senior leadership operating regularly as a team, meeting together to discuss how to make strategy successful for the entire organization, sitting around the table talking to each other about their collective responsibility, not just their individual functional responsibilities. From this program, strategy execution, success through leadership, you'll take away specific realistic actions that will have the leadership out front, the whole organization engaged, and all key systems in alignment. couple of different ways that this program is available. First, we offer it as customized facilitated consulting. That is, we come to your organization and work with your own leadership at your own site and basically at what is an appropriate schedule for you. The other way is through a 3-day public course that you and some of your colleagues may choose to attend. This is offered a number of times a year, and we encourage you, if you're going to attend, to have several people from your organization attend. In fact, having a member of the senior strategy staff as well as a member of the senior leadership team come together is a really good idea. So basically, it's time to move from this to this. What do you need to do to make it happen? You know, don't go away and do nothing. Go back to the website, take the full reality check, and share the results with your colleagues. Also, go to the website and check for more detail on this program that's available through a link on the website. And finally, you can contact the instructor about what to expect to put into the program and what you should expect to get out of the program. Again, you can do this through a link on our website. Kathleen, let me pass this back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Shaw. That was great. I encourage you to consider taking our reality check, learn more about the program, and/or contact the instructor. Please feel free to visit us at www.balancedscorecard.org or call the Balanced Scorecard Institute at 919-460-8180 and reference Strategy Execution Success Through Leadership. Again, thank you for your attention and have a great rest of the day.